You're such a dork. What are you doing?
Ready to rock, baby. Hey, everybody.
Hi, guys.
We're making an impromptu video about our experience, or social experiment, you can call it, with wearing our Atheist T-shirts.
Yes, it was deliberate on our part to take turns wearing our Atheist T-shirts. You have to understand where we live. Well, a lot of you already know it isn't easy to... Don't you puff your chest out there a little bit more? to wear the Atheist T-shirts out in public, given the general public view of atheists that, you know, we have little horns hiding,
especially in Redneck County, Florida.
Yeah. So
but we're not thrown off by that at all.
Yeah.
We're not afraid of these stupid fucks.
Steve actually wore his shirt first. He got this particular shirt first and wore it to go see Superman, of all movies.
Second time.
When we went to see Superman for the second time.
Second time.
And nothing really happened too much at the movie theater itself. He did get a couple of, you know, what you get are these looks that go kind of like this, where they're walking by you and they flick down and look at your shirt and look away.
Yeah, or the double take.
Or the double take.
What was that? What did I see? What did I see? Or they look and they read it and then they're like, "What? Did I read that right?"
And they look again.
Or else they look at you and then they see the shirt and then they look back at you, and they kind of like it stops their train of thought, so they stop talking whatever they're saying. We've seen that a lot.
Yeah. So at the movie theater, there wasn't really too much reaction, but when we went to the comic book store afterwards, yes, you guys already know this about us, the comic thing.
Oh yeah.
We went to the comic book store afterwards, and one of the guys in the shop got all excited when he saw Steve's shirt, and he's like, "Oh, dude, I love your shirt." And
well, at first though, he made a face though, and I thought,
yeah.
"Oh, we're gonna hear some bullshit now, or what? You know, we're gonna hear some, how dare you wear that shirt in my store bullshit." Because we don't really know them that well, so, you know, when you wear an Atheist T-shirt, you get to know people in a different way. Yeah. And right away, Todd said, "Man, I really like your shirt." And I said, "Hey, that's cool. Thanks a lot, man. I appreciate that." And he said something about how I'm glad that you're out there wearing it because people need to see it, and you know, and all these things that we've been saying, you know, on Twitter about you need to be seen, you need to be heard.
Correct.
And here's somebody reaffirming that in real life, and it was really fucking cool.
And then the next person to wear the shirt was me, and I wore this one where it says a non-profit organization, so it's a little bit more to read. And we did see a lot of people...
That's asking a lot.
stopping to read my shirt. You know, they leaned in. Don't start that again. To read the shirt. And when we were walking through the grocery store, this older guy almost comes to a complete stop with his shopping cart.
The derp guy.
And stops to read the shirt. And
his mouth is half open.
You can tell it took him a while to read it.
The face. What's her shirt?
To read the shirt.
Derp. Derp.
Steve is watching him read my shirt, so I'm watching the guy read the shirt.
And then he looks up at me, and I was watching him watching her. So it's like, dude, I saw everything you did, and then you looked up at me, and you're like, "Oh, somebody saw me."
Somebody saw me.
Derp.
But that was the week that I actually posted on Twitter that the dirtiest looks that I got were actually from the older women.
Yeah.
Don't mind me, I'm sweating because somebody insisted on doing this outside.
Well, it's Florida.
The women actually were the absolute. They would give me just these horrible, horrible glares and these looks, and I was wondering if they were going to tell me that they didn't want me to wear my shirt out in public. Sure. So they would have to explain it to their child. You know, those were the kind of looks I was getting, like I was wearing a naked woman on my T-shirt or something.
Yeah, so like her shirt said, "Fuck you, you asshole." Maybe it is a "fuck you, you asshole" shirt to them. I don't know.
It could be. And yesterday and today, we deliberately wore, both of us wore our shirts.
Yes.
So kind of the double impact of the two of us wearing our shirts. And it was absolutely hysterical. Because then they don't know which way to look. They're looking at me, they're looking at him, and then they look away.
Like we went to lunch yesterday, and we went to Taco Bell because all you people on Twitter kept talking about tacos the other day. Gave me a taco craving.
He wanted to poison our system. So,
right. So we went to Taco Bell, And sure enough, we walk in there, and the manager guy is,
a very nice guy.
Very nice guy, but he's obviously very religious. He said, before he said to us, God bless you, and we don't provoke people. That's one thing that we want to make really clear. Unless this shirt is what you call provocative, we don't actually go around provoking people. Now, if they respond in a certain way, we're not gonna back off and just. We're not watching the cats fight.
You're watching the cats fight, yeah.
Loki! So anyway, we're in there, and we're sitting there, and we go sit in the corner, and there's...
atheists, go sit in the corner.
So we're sitting in the corner, kind of, sort of, and there's a couple of...
An older couple.
A couple of people... Damn cats. Stop it!
Quit paying attention to them.
So, we're sitting there, and this couple, it's an older couple, probably about 10 years older than Samantha and myself, and the woman is facing me and the man is facing away, and I see her look over at myself and Samantha sitting down, and she's eyeballing the shirts, and we don't think anything of it. So then she's real hush whispered talking to the guy, her husband, and every once in a while I see him turn around looking at us. Samantha had to get up and get a phone call. So then what happened?
Oh, I was talking on the phone with my daughter. I watched her look over at me, and she does that, look all the way down at me, look all the way up at me, and then look right at my shirt, and then look right at my face. And it just kind of shocked me, because the look she gave me was, if looks could kill, I should have just dropped dead, standing right there.
And then the husband gives her a look, and then I'm watching him the whole time, waiting to see if he looks over at me. And he didn't look over at me until they got up and get ready to go. So he looks over at me, and by the time he's looking over at me, he turns to look at me, and I'm looking straight at him. Because I was waiting for him to look. So he looks at me, and he just kind of looked away really quick. But the thing is, it's just, if it was a Jesus shirt, if it said, thank God, or Jesus is great, or some other bullshit like that.
We see lots of church shirts in this area, especially right now for Vacation Bible School.
And these would be the same people that would walk up to us at that point and put their hand out and say, I want to shake your hand, and oh, the Lord is wonderful, and Jesus is great, and they'd be spouting Bible verses at us, and all this bullshit, but because we're wearing an Atheist T-shirt,
dirty looks.
We get the dirty looks, we get the hateful looks.
I mean, today he actually managed to, like he said, managed to make a guy lose his train of thought.
That was funny.
Mid-sentence, he just looks over at Steve and
We were in our local little redneck mall.
Yeah.
And and I said to Samantha, I said, okay, let's walk through the mall just like we would normally would. We were in the bookstore.
This was after we made a donation to the local Goodwill, by the way.
Yeah. So we're walking through the mall, and you see people doing the double take. Read it once, read it twice. They're not sure what it says, and then when they figure it out. It's funny because then sometimes the reaction was to look away really quick.
Yeah.
Like it said atheism.
Don't look right at them.
My eyeballs are burning.
Are we gonna catch on fire?
we would if they wanted us to.
Oh wait, but the best part, we went to a bookstore whose name we will not name here. We're not going to give them that free promotion.
BAM.
But their religion section.
It's a Christian.
It is. It's not a Christian bookstore, but
it's a.
It's
slant is
yeah. The slant is definitely towards religion.
And their Bible section is
whole wall.
How many aisles have they got? Bibles.
I don't
Bible
remember.
Section's like 2-3 aisles.
The kids' Bible section.
Bible studies.
And all of that stuff. And we deliberately, every time I say now, I'm thinking of Paul.
Surviving Religion. Surviving Religion podcast people. Paul and Sandy.
Make me feel bad about saying
makes me feel dumb. Derp. Anyway.
Oh. So there was an older gentleman, and this is the first he's going to hear the story, and it's deliberate because I want to see his reaction.
Oh, she was waiting. See that? She held it back from me. Keeping secrets.
There's an older gentleman. The way the bookstore is set up, there's little chairs in between each of the giant bookshelves.
Uh-huh.
And he's sitting there, and he was considerably older.
Uh-huh.
And he's sitting there, and he's reading, and I was looking at this book on, I'm trying to remember what, Satan. I took a picture of the cover.
You gotta say it right.
Satan? Because it was in the religious section, and it's basically telling it's geared, I guess, towards older teens, I'm not sure, but telling them to be careful of modern cartoons because it's trying to lead you to Satanism and all this stuff. So I'm reading this, kind of flipping through it and laughing out loud, and then I run across Lee Strobel's name. So I go out loud, frickin' Lee Strobel, what a jackass.
Oh,
Older, older guys had
that's so mild.
snaps up. Older guys had snaps up, and he looks over at me.
Yeah.
And he looks at my shirt.
And
And I've got my
Lee
camera,
Strobel
and I
asshole,
made
right?
this Lee Strobel comment. He just looks at me, and he goes, pursed his little old man lips, and just shook his head. And I said, "You have a nice day, okay? Bye."
high five.
And I walked off. I throw people off if I catch them staring at the shirt. I wait for them to make eye contact with me, and then I smile at them. And they a lot of times,
And since she has such a pretty smile,
a lot of
they
times
don't know what to say.
it makes them uncomfortable. Like, oh, but she noticed me, and now she's smiling at me. Now I have to.
And atheists are such mean, angry people. They shouldn't be smiling or laughing. I mean,
I went in.
Fuck.
We stopped at the local Joann's Fabrics for me to get yarn. I like to crochet. There's my old lady thing. And Steve walked over to the music store.
oh yeah.
And he.
So while she's in there, I mean, the old lady stuff doesn't do anything for me. So I went over to the music store, look at the guitars and stuff, and there's a young guy in there, probably in his mid-20s, early mid-20s, and he's talking to a customer, and he's eyeballing me, and I'm walking around, and of course I'm on my phone, I'm looking at Twitter.
No.
And, I know, what a stretch.
Never.
So he's eyeballing me, and I'm thinking he's looking at the shirt. He's probably religious, and he got a problem with it. So
Judging book by cover.
that's true. Oops.
Oops.
So he's eyeballing me, and I'm walking around. He says, "Can I help you?" At one point, and I said, "No, I'm just looking. It's okay." And I'm getting ready to walk out, and he says, "Hey, could you do me a favor? I'd really like to take a photograph of your shirt." And I said, "Oh, cool." I said, "That's great. I really appreciate that." And he says, "Well, I don't get a chance. I don't see the shirts like this, anywhere." And he says, "It's something how the the Christians will wear their God and Jesus T-shirts, and they'll have their bumper stickers, and they'll have their wording on the back of their rear windows, and they'll have their little buttons and name tags and all this
crucifixes.
All this garbage that you're assaulted with every single day, no matter where you go. Doesn't matter if you just go in the Walmart. Doesn't matter if you're just walking out your front door. You're always assaulted with constant religious symbolism. So for him, he says, that it's nice to see this. It's nice to see somebody wearing a shirt like that. And he goes, atheists have every right that Christians have. Mm-hmm. And he says, and it's a shame that they don't treat people the same as they want to be treated. Mm-hmm. So him and I talked about that for a few minutes, and I told him, the main thing is to get it out there. It may be uncomfortable. You may get a lot of looks, but to get it out there and, to show people, hey, I'm just a normal person. Yeah. I take this shirt off, you wouldn't know me from the next person. You wouldn't know I was atheist or not. So the shirt means very little.
That's the predominant reason why we've decided to do that. At least one day on the weekend, we wear the atheist shirt because we want the people in the area to see that we're just regular, normal people. Like I said, in Joann's,
this is what an atheist looks like.
I'm they're in the yarn section, comparing yarns, colors, and stuff like that. And I wanted to ask an opinion of somebody about matching up yarn colors. Mm-hmm. So there was a older lady in the aisle, and I walked over to her, and we're talking about yarn and crocheting and knitting. And at the time, my shirt was kind of covered up because I had, 5 balls of yarn.
Plus you're strapped from your purse. Yeah.
So I kind of shuffled it around, and next thing you know, my shirt is exposed, and we are still talking, but she's looking at me, looking down at my shirt, looking up at me, looking down at my shirt. And at the end of it all, I said, "Oh, okay, well, thanks, I appreciate your opinion, have a great day." And she's like, "Yeah." Pause. "You too." So I'm hoping that was a positive interaction.
Like a surprise.
With her, for her.
A surprise.
Yeah. To, especially like I said, for this area is extremely religious.
I don't know how many churches there are.
So it's a good thing. But anyway, we just wanted to do this little to tell you how the little social experiment has gone.
Right.
And the one thing also for us is we're more comfortable wearing the shirts.
Right.
To say what you want, I'm an atheist,
Right.
but say what you want. You're going to feel like every set of eyeballs is on you.
Right.
And now I understand it's not always that they're not always on me just for the negative part of it. Like,
well, they're looking at her because she's so pretty.
Shut up.
They look at me because I'm kind of a goofy-looking guy.
They're not just looking because of the shirt. Some of them are looking because of the shirt in a negative way, and some people are looking at the shirt in a positive way, as in, oh, good.
Right. Like the young kid I saw.
So it's taught both of us some things. So it's been a very good social experiment, and we just wanted to share with you all.
And then another thing, as far as on the wearing the shirt goes, if you want to get an atheist shirt and you want to wear it out, it may make you feel stressed a little bit at first, but the thing is, you need to get to the point where wearing this shirt, wearing that shirt, is just like wearing any other T-shirt.
For me, it'd be Wonder Woman.
But I mean, it needs to be at that point where you put it on and you just basically forget what it is, and anybody who's got a problem with it, that's their problem. It's not your problem. And right now we're still too
You had to know.
new to wearing these shirts. It's still very self-conscious.
Oh, you had to know somebody had to mow the lawn right now. Anyway, I guess that's our cue to wrap it up.
Anyway.
See you guys.
Bye-bye.
Oh, no, I'm not doing that, making my head look any
Rock and
bigger.
roll is done. All right, everybody.
Bye.